Hello guys, my name is Armin. In today's video learning SketchUp, I want to show you how to utilize the entity info window. This is a great place that you can get a lot of information about the geometry that you created, such as the quantification of it, how big it is. If you want to change any dimension, you can kind of use it in the entity info. You can assign tags to it and much more. Let's jump into SketchUp so we can review this window.
Looking at entity info, a very important location when you deal with SketchUp and you're drawing object because it's going to give you the info about the object that you drawn, and also it's going to give you the ability to edit, and also it's going to give you the ability to make some changes to it. So let's just start with the very basic that we all familiar with, and that is an edge or line, right? So the line calls an edge. Uh, the first thing when you click on the entity info for the line, you have the ability to put it under tag or layer. The next one is going to give you the length of it, like what is this, and this is a place that you can adjust as well. So if I go to the 20 feet, you can basically add to it. If let's say 5 feet, I just make it smaller. 25 feet, so it's just you can be able to adjust the edge. This is the color paint. You can basically choose a paint for that object. You won't be able to see it on the edges. It basically shows up on the surface that we're going to take a look at later on. You can also have the ability to soft and smoothen any edges that you have. The next item that is available for us here is a toggle, so you can basically turn it on and off. So right now it basically shows it as a dotted line. It means that this object is hidden, and the reason is because I have the hidden geometry turned on. If I uncheck that, and then basically everything goes away, like I don't see my object. That's why I recommend you have your hidden geometry turned on most of the time, so you know what is turned off or it's hidden. So right now I basically have my line, uh, or edge right here, and these are all the items that is available to me in the entity info. So next one, I just want to go a little bit further. Let's just add these. So if I have more lines, like let's see what's gonna happen. So right now I just want to add all of these edges. The main difference is if I keep adding at the length, this is gonna give you a cumulative length or the linear footage of the area. Let's say if you have a site, you want to get the linear footage with your fence, it's like a different line that you attach to each other and it's not one line. You can select on the lines and you'll be able to see the linear footage over there. And if you want the smoothen and the soften any edges that you have, you can check those boxes and basically it does it for you. And if I keep add this one to it, and this is gonna go up. So this is a great way to basically see how you can add edges to each other and you can get some calculation from this. The next item that we want to go after is our face. So as soon as select on the face, the first thing that you notice is it gives me two different type, and this is because we want to paint this surface. So any surface has two face, right? So up and down. I want to first, let's say, change this one to this red, and the bottom of it, which is this bottom, let's I don't know, like make it this green. So you can see basically the surface that I have has two faces. Each face is a different color. Also I can tag it if there is a layer or tag that I want to put on it, I can use over here. The other thing that you can get from surfaces or faces, you can get the area, right? So it's basically give you area, and that's gonna be the same story. Like if I add another box right there, and let's just pull it up. There you go. So right now I'm selecting this and I'm selecting this one. As you notice, I'm keep adding to this, but it basically shows me that this color, because I already selected these and also select this one. That's why it's kind of showing me the question mark, because it's not the only this surface, right? So this is different because this one doesn't have anything else. So if I click on top, you can see basically that goes away and give me a new area. And if you want to add surfaces, same thing. You hold your control, you select all the surfaces, and this one is going to give you the cumulative square feet or inch or whatever you're drawn in, and that's going to basically give you that area. So the next one is you can kind of toggle this, so you can see basically this shows me that this is hidden. And again, if this is turned on, it basically takes away everything for those surfaces. So if I select those two surface, head, and then you can see that basically I have just the lines over there. Let me just go turn back on and then select all the faces and then just turn on so I can get my cube back. And then this is all that you can get from the entity info for the surface and line. And one important note is if I select a surface and the line, it basically doesn't give me any numbers or any quantity because I'm selecting two different type of entity. I have an edge, I have a surface or face. So that's not going to basically give me, and you can see right here it says two entities. I cannot add those two together. The other one that is really important is I can select all of these and turn them into a group. And as you notice, I have selected 18 entities. So as soon as make them a group, it turns everything to one solid group, and it also it give me one choose paint. So I can right now, let's say select these paint, make it this color for my area. I can, if I tag it, let's just create a tag, or I already have one tag here, practice, and then I'll just put it on the practice one so I can turn it on and off right there. And other good thing is the instances. If you have different instances with the different colors or different type, you can basically name it. You can kind of put this one uh, first, for example. So define type. If you have any classification schema right there that you are is already loaded into your SketchUp, you can basically import it here and you can assign the type to it. And the other main thing is you can get a volume, and the reason is you have all dimensions, right? So you have the height, width, and length, and basically you can get the actual cubic feet for this. And this is gonna happen with the same concept. So let's add another one, another group, and then let me select all of it, make it another group. So right now if I select this group and this group, is basically you can see it goes away because they have a different instance, right? So that's gonna be instance second, and this one is instance first. So this is a little bit different than what we talk about. So you cannot add groups together if they have the same type. If they have the same instance, it can add the volume for you so you can see what are those groups volumes are. But if you don't name them or you don't have the type of them, it's going to be really hard for you to get the actual quantity because you cannot get it from the SketchUp because it basically it's the same type but two different instances. So these are going to be separate for groups. The other group, let's just make these a different color, let's say blue, so we know they are different. um, Same thing, you can turn them on and off. I don't see anything here. I can go to geometry, turn it off, so everything come back on. That all back. Second, first. So let's just look at the cast shadows. Let me just go to the shadows, turn it on. We can talk about the shadows later on, but just to make sure, I just want you to see a little bit difference between these two. Let me move these to here so you guys can see the difference. So there's like a two options that I have here. One of them is cast a shadow, one of them is receive shadow, right? So like for this one, if I don't want to cast a shadow for this because this is selected, I basically turn it on. Let me select these box so I can turn it on. there's a shadow, but I don't want to receive a shadow from this one, right? So no matter where I move this, it doesn't cast a shadow on my other box because I'm telling SketchUp I don't want this object receive this one. So if I go back right now and then say, okay, so let's receive a shadow, and I can go on the move. If you can see, if I move it around, the shadow is going to be casted on the other box. And then this one is basically for the actual. So right now the shadows goes away and then it's coming back, and this one is for the receive. So these are, I think, really important if you want an object that pop up in your logistics plan. You can basically have everything cast shadow on each other and just leave the one that doesn't want to receive anything and kind of make that object pop up in your logistics plan. Also, we have a lock. So when you turn the lock on, then it's going to be really hard to deal with because it doesn't let you move it. Like, it's not going to let you edit. So basically it is locked, and that's going to be helpful because most of the time you have, let's say, a near map or anything under that you are trying to work, and if it's not locked and you keep drawing on it or deleting stuff, they might remove some stuff. But let's say you zoom in on this and you keep like changing items, it's not going to affect the actual uh, object that is locked. So I think that is really important. So you don't have to be kind of worried about accidentally select the object or remove object or delete them, because when you lock them, nothing is going to affect that object at all. So I will recommend when you create a group, especially when you bring in your near map or any other big drawing sheets that you draw on them, create a group and then log them. So you don't have to do uh, anything on it. You don't need to worry about adding items or removing it or deleting it accidentally or whatnot. So I think that's a very important item to look at. So the last one that I want to show you is just a component. So I want to show you a difference between a group and a component. Let me select all of this. Okay, so for the component, the definition, I don't know, just let's go box one. And then if you want to add description, I have another video talking about creating components, going through all of these really in detail. So I just want to make sure that this is good. Create, yes. So right now I want to select these components. So you can see there's like the different changes. So first of all, it says solid component one model. If you want to change the color, you can easily go over here, change the color. If you want to tag, let's put this one on tag actually. So if I go here, I can turn it on and off. I'll be able to kind of do everything over here. The next one is the instance. So the same thing, if you copy and paste, let's say this one, and then I want to put it like next to it right there. So this is gonna be the instance one, instance two. You can basically name them. So let's say put this one at two, put this one at one. You also get a same volume for it because you have X, Y, and Z. You can toggle on and off. So it's basically a really good location if you want to get stuff. You can lock, same process for casting a shadow. Let me move this behind just a bit. Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, there you go. So if I want to select this one, okay, so I'm selecting this. So I don't want to receive a shadow, it takes away, and if you don't want to cast shadow, I can remove it. So you'll be able to adjust all of those. The only difference between component and the group, for the component, is basically give you all of the advanced attributes that you have when you created the components. If you basically look at the components, when you create any components, you have all of these advanced attributes. If you want to have a size definition, if you have a URL like a status, the owner, the type that goes into any clarification classification schema, or the price, you can also adjust over here or edit for your component. So this is all that basically you can get from the entity info. Just be aware that you have a few different type. You have edge, surface, group, component. So length can be added, accumulated. Surface can you can get an accumulation of surfaces or areas. You cannot add two entities or three entities and get a quantification from it because it's two different or three different type of entities. Groups are gonna be each group by itself. You can get a volume of that. Each component by itself, you can get a component. And I will recommend to log your groups and components in order to avoid editing, deleting, or changing anything on that create components. And also, if you want anything to pop up, you can utilize the cast shadow or receive shadow to make it conspicuous in your logistics or in your drawings. Hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. If you like the content, please subscribe and leave a like, and I will see you in the next video.